Thank you for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and I'm Michael, and my favorite weekly guest is Frank Calderon from the Miami-Dade County Solid Waste Department. Welcome, Frank.
Thanks for having me here, Michael.
Okay, so let's talk about the chemicals that we generate out of our house. We go to the local store, we buy this stuff, we use some of it, and then it's underneath that sink, and you know what happens? You wind up putting it in the back, and before you know it, it's a year or two later, you got all the stuff that you wouldn't dare put it on anything anymore because you're afraid it's going to kill it, whatever it is. So what should people do with their home chemicals, and describe what those chemicals might be?
Sure. Take it to one of our home chemical collection centers. We have two, one in Doral, West Dade Center on Northwest 58th Street. And we have one at the South Dade landfill on the same plot of land or the same campus, just it has a different entrance than the landfill itself. And some of the household chemicals you could bring are old fertilizers, old pesticides, old solvents, cleaning chemicals, and things of that nature.
And I understand a little bird chirped in my ear that you're having a mobile home chemical collection site.
Yes, we are. This Saturday, we started doing the mobile home chemical events a couple of years ago, and they've been a big hit. They've been very popular. We have one coming this Saturday, and gosh darn if I forgot to read the time that it's running, but it's basically, it starts in the morning around, I want to say somewhere between 7 and 8. And it runs till about 2 or 3 in the afternoon. But it's going to be at the what we call 3B, the Sunset Kendall Trash and Recycling Center. For those of you who live in Kendall, West Kendall, it's and Westchester, it's going to be convenient to you, super convenient to me. This is the one I save stuff at my house to bring, and my wife has been on top of me for a few weeks now to get rid of this stuff. And it's okay. This Saturday they're going to come to us, and it's just real convenient to me.
And I want to do a shout out to our friends at Animal Services. At the end of October down south, they're having a whole day affair, one of the parks. You can look it up at Animal Services. And they're going to have 100 animals out there. It'll be inexpensive for you to adopt, and I'll bet if you said some nice stuff, you might get a really great price. They're going to have puppies, they're going to have big dogs, little dogs, and lots of kittens. So feel free to go to the site and find that out. So. And I understand when people turn in their old chemicals that some of the stuff the county saves because it still has the lifespan. So if somebody wanted to go take a look at what's there, what's the process in people doing that?
Absolutely. Well, this is our what we call the Chem Again program. We have items available at both centers, the South Dade and the West Dade. We typically early in the week, Monday, Tuesday, we tend to post the items for that week. The only caveat is that it's first come, first served. For the items that are available. They are available to any Miami-Dade resident. You do have to be a Miami-Dade resident. But some of the stuff I mentioned before, paints, pesticides, fertilizer, items of that nature that are still in good shape, we make them available to residents, first come, first serve.
Let's talk about paint. All right. We get the paint, it's all liquid, we put it up on the wall, and then we put it in the back, and it sits there for some period of time. Some of the stuff they should recycle, and we bring it to the home chemical thing. And the other, if it's a certain consistency, they can do what with it?
Well, if the paint is dried, they can just throw it in the garbage. As long as it's liquid, we ask them, please do not throw it in the garbage. If it's kind of starting to get hard but still liquidy, the best thing to do is, take it to the garage, or say you don't want to do this inside your house because you don't want the smell of paint. But take the lid off of it, even if you only partially do it. Give it a few days, let it dry till it's hard. At that point, you can just throw it in the garbage.
And so, besides, one of the reasons you don't want people to put the paint into the green cans is it leaks.
Correct.
Right, or can leak.
Paint, yeah.
And then it leaks in the truck.
It leaks in the truck, and it might leak out on the roadway, and then we get people calling us and telling us that we're responsible for cleaning up the road now because somebody put liquid paint in the back. And if we can find out who it was, we might make them responsible.
It may be a half a mile away, but at some point, all right? So we know what happened in this last half. And speaking of drivers, did you get a chance to check today to see any job openings?
No, I didn't. I didn't. Usually I do. I forgot today.
But people can go to Miami-Dade.gov.
Miami-Dade.gov/jobs. And it's all county jobs, including our drivers when we open the positions up. Other departments also have driving positions. Transit is a big one because they have bus drivers. They need bus drivers all the time there. We need our drivers, our waste collection, the garbage truck drivers from time to time. I don't know if we're advertising it this week because I didn't check. I forgot. But you can go to miamidade.gov/jobs.
It's all the jobs that are available.
And it's all county jobs
Yeah,
that are available.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so lots of times, I'm driving down the street, I look in somebody's yard, I see they're changing the oil on the car. Not as common as it used to be, but it's still around. What should people do with that old oil that they've taken out of their car?
Do not dump it into the ground or dump it anywhere, pretty much, or worse yet, into a storm drain, because that's going to go into the drinking water, which the source of drinking water is basically underground, like immediately from the surface down to varying depths, but the deepest point I believe is 260 feet underground, the Biscayne Aquifer. You can take it to one of our home chemical collection centers. And those are open to all Miami-Dade County residents. You don't have to be our customer. You don't have to receive service from us. We also have several TRCs, and we've increased the number over the past few years that will accept used motor oil, but they're only open to our customers. And in addition to that, there are, check first. I always warn people to check first. There are auto parts shops, auto stores, and some gasoline stations that might be willing to take it back, but check with them first. Please do not assume. But if you can't find any other place, you can bring it to one of our 2 home chemical collection centers. No cost, as long as you're a Miami-Dade resident. So,
and most of the time, this is a matter of your conscience, because you could certainly do it and nobody would find out except for you. I don't mean you, but you, the person that's
doing it.
Let's talk a little bit about the recycling containers that are outside people's houses. Those are the blue ones that are out there.
Yes.
A vendor of the county picks those up every 2 weeks. So basically, what are some of the things that can go in there?
Some of the things that can go there, bottles, which can be plastic or glass bottles. As far as plastic, the only type of plastic we'll take there are plastic bottles, like, water, soda, dishwashing detergent, shampoo, those types of things, and yogurt and butter tubs. Those will take as far as plastic. Other items that will take, cans, which can be food or beverage cans. Metal is very recyclable. Cardboard, those boxes you get stuff shipped to your house all the time, we'll take that. Paper, any junk mail you get pretty much is recyclable. And cartons, like juice cartons, broth comes in cartons as well. As long as they're clean and emptied out, we'll take them.
I'm glad you brought up about paper, because if we have Thanksgiving and Christmas, got all those promotions that'll be there, and then it begins the political season right after that. So you'll be getting all those beautiful postcards that people can.
Those are recyclable.
Yep. You can just take them directly from your mailbox. Just
no comment on that, but yes, they are recyclable.
And so. And let's talk about on the aluminum cans that go in. I hear there's this very short period of time from the time it starts to be recycled until they're on their 2nd or 3rd or 4th life. How long does that take, more or less?
With aluminum, it can be as short as 6 weeks. It's one of the most easily recyclable items, one of the most recyclable items. There's so many benefits to recycling metals in general, but aluminum in particular. 6 weeks, it can be a new aluminum item in another can or something else. Basically, when you recycle aluminum, you're saving basically 95% of the energy cost versus mining the ore, which is not aluminum. There's no such thing as aluminum ore. It's called bauxite, Bauxite. I used to be spelling bee champ when I was a kid. Bauxite ore, which is processed through with the use of energy to become aluminum. You use 95% less energy to recycle aluminum.
Let's talk about those lovely aluminum cooking containers that we put our turkeys in. And they sit in that thing for hours. Then we get it out, and we sometimes take it out. Or if it's the Miller House, so we just leave it in. We just use a fork and we take it right out from there. Tell us why those aren't recyclable.
Because the place where they, one of the trade-offs with making the recycling program easier than it was before, we just put everything into one container, the blue carts that we have, is that it's all processed by machinery. And the machinery is designed to accept cans and to process cans, and it can tell the difference between a regular metal or steel can versus an aluminum can. Anything that's a different shape or weight, it's just not going to work there. That's why we can't take the tray or the pan that you're talking about.
So let's talk about if people put stuff into the blue container and they know it's not recyclable. It essentially has made that container almost not
Unusable.
unusable. So if somebody's wondering about it, what do you want them to do? Don't put it
Please,
in.
yeah. We like to say, when it comes to recycling, when in doubt, leave it out. If you're not sure, oh, can this be recycled now? Throw it in the garbage.
What is it? What on your mosquito control division? What's there? If there's water, drain it. What is that?
Drain and cover.
Drain and cover. So each department has their own thing.
Yes.
I guess. Right. So when in doubt, just throw it out. Don't put it in there because the number of the quantity that doesn't get recycled it's a huge thing, and that is because we're putting the wrong stuff in.
Correct.
I won't tell you the figures, but depending on where you're at, if we're a bear or bull, but it's 30 to 45%.
About 40%.
About 40%. That means, on average, that 60% of the stuff you're putting in is not recyclable. So just put it in the other thing.
Well, 60% is recycled. It's the 40% that is not.
So it means,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So 40% of the stuff you're putting in there is not. So just the next time, just take it a moment and put it in the other can. And I was looking at my big, beautiful green cans, and I'm not trying to save the county any money, but no tops and holes in the bottom. I'm going to call them. So if people have the same thing, which is a problem, you can call the county. Where do they call? Or
311.
And you tell them what the problem is. They'll tell you when to leave it out there. They're going to
Yes.
fix it or replace it.
They will fix or replace depending on the the level
And
of
there's no
damage.
charge for that.
There's no additional charge.
No additional charge. And if somebody wants another can, another green can cart, they can do the same. They call up.
Now, for the green additional cart, to get a green additional cart for garbage, you can call 311, or you can visit our website, miamidade.gov/solid waste, which I see right there. It's running on the bottom of the screen right now. Important to note, though, that because now we'll be picking up more garbage from your house, there is a fee associated with it, and it actually went up slightly this year. It's $162 a year.
So it's like $1.10
for getting. If you break it down by the number of pickups,
Yeah, it's $1.10 or something.
104.
Yeah.
Well, no, because it's just the 3 holidays. 104 minus 3, 101.
All right, so it's
101
a pretty good deal. And by the way, Rochelle's who's producing the show. Would you turn the camera around so Rochelle can say hi? There she is.
Hi, Rochelle.
Hey, Rochelle. By the way, Rochelle, all right, is a school teacher. She works down in Florida City, all right? When she gets done from teaching down there, she drives all the way up here to South Miami every day. Yes. So she's committed to those.
That's a bit of a trek.
3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Michelle, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
All right. So green cans, all right. Blue and the blue cart's the same thing. If there's a problem with the blue cart, they call up the county, or do they give you a
Yes.
different phone number?
No, same place, 311.
Okay. And then let's talk about litter and trash dumping. My thanks go out to our commissioner, the chairman of the Board of County Commissioners, Anthony Rodriguez, who at Horse Country, they put out new grass, they put out no parking, no garbage, no dumping. Really made a big difference on that, on 122 and also 118th Avenue. And there's less trash because people are paying attention to it. So what happens in a neighborhood if somebody leaves their trash out front, their rubbish out front for too long? What have you found?
Well, what ends up happening is it's like a magnet for more garbage, more trash, and people bring more trash and pile on, and that we do bulky waste pickups for residents, for our customers, where we pick up large items or yard waste. We pick up furniture, stuff like that they don't want anymore. And you have to arrange for that in advance before you put the stuff out there. We used to allow people to put it out there as soon as they made the arrangement, as soon as they called us or whatever, and it would be out there as long as 8-9 days. We found that becomes a magnet. People see it and they think, oh, good, I can get rid of that old TV set I have and put it on that pile or whatever. So that's why we moved to the appointment system we use now, where you have a preset date and you can put it out no more than 3 days before that. So you see the piles around less time, and it's just less temptation, and you have less likelihood of, but even whether it's bulky waste or whether it's true illegal dumping that people leave out, it becomes a magnet.
The same with graffiti on buildings. The city says they give a certain amount of hours to get it off because they know what's coming, which is some other kid up there, and spraying all over your building. So again, so we have the rubbish littering is essentially throwing small stuff out the car, right?
Yes.
And illegal dumping. They dump it on the side of the road and try to get away with it. But there's so many cameras out there. The cops are out there.
It's harder and harder to get away.
And as it should be. And you got to know that somebody's there with a camera, especially the ones that are being hidden. I'm going to take a guess where they are, but I won't do it publicly. Don't do that on the streets, all right? And don't chase the bad guys either.
Yeah.
All right. So let's. So far, this is the 6th, I think, of October, right?
Yes.
The 6th. So far, we've been really lucky as far as our hurricanes. All right.
The month of September, I think this was the first time in 10 years that no storm has hit the U.S.
That's amazing.
Not just us, the whole country, basically.
Well, the insurance companies are having a field day this time. All right.
Collecting premiums and, and
not having to pay.
Not having
Yeah, it worked. But more insurance companies are coming back to Florida because of some of the changes. It took a long time for that to occur. But if we see there's a hurricane coming, and even way before, look through your property, find the stuff that's going to fall on your house, and get rid of it.
Yep. And you can use a bulky waste pickup for them to come take it away.
Or you can
or you can bring it if it's small enough amounts, you can bring it to one of the trash and recycling centers. As long as you're a customer. Yeah.
Okay. I understand that the county is going to make some active decisions concerning waste energy plant. Whenever that's going to be, who knows? I think some people know, but we haven't found out yet. But even when they vote on it, it's going to take a decade-ish from the time they start.
I believe they already voted for it, and they voted for where it can't be, but they haven't voted yet for where it's going to be. They voted where it can't be within, I believe, like a half-mile radius of a population center, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know the exact how it actually reads, but something to that effect. That was
one of the greatest things, what NIMBY stands for, not in my backyard, right? And that certainly was one of the more vocal things that occurred. It was in Doral and it burned down. And so anyway, I'm glad the county's moving along. So currently, in case people want to know, the county's contracted with a waste hauler to take it up to the middle of the state.
Yes.
And then we have one here, the South Dade landfill. Is there another one? There's a North Dade landfill?
The North Dade landfill.
And where's that one?
That one is county line, just south of the county line, south of the turnpike. If you go to, if you're going to go to a Dolphins game and you're taking the turnpike from the south, you'll drive past it.
Oh, that's Miami. That's Dade County?
Northwest. It's at Northwest 47th Avenue. Yes, the one that's on the. If you're driving from South Dade to the stadium, it's on the right hand side.
Oh, I see it all the time. I thought that was a county thing. It's actually sort of pretty. And people can go to these places with their trucks and dump their stuff.
Yes, they can.
And are there platforms where they dump it?
No, that's different. By the way, at the North Dade landfill, we do have a trash and recycling center where they do have a platform. The trash and recycling centers, they have a little bit of a platform, and they're open to our customers for residential use. If you have too big of a vehicle, or if the vehicle has commercial markings, they're going to turn you away because they're going to consider it commercial. But you can come up, and there's a platform, and basically there's a roll-off container underneath, where you just throw the items out.
When I used to do that, it was a lot of fun. How much noise can we make doing that? And don't try to swap out stuff. Don't go to your neighbor and pull stuff out of his truck.
You don't want to go behind the guy with the mattresses if you want to hear noise. That's a pro tip.
So anyway, it's a great place to take your grandkids so they can see how we do that stuff. All right, so we have hurricanes. People still need to prepare for that. They can call 311 or go online and they can book that. And they tell you when you can book the appointment. They'll be out there within 3 days of
well, they'll be out there by whatever the appointment date may be, however far out it is. But what you're allowed to do is 3 days before the appointment day is put your stuff out.
Okay, and then if there's a dead dog in the street, or cat, or goat, or horse, guess what?
Chicken
or chicken, things like that. All right.
Call 311.
All right, call 311, and they're going to send somebody out.
I believe it's Animal Services that picks them up.
Yeah, I remember somebody left a horse on the ground. And so all the neighbors were complaining. I said, "This is one of our neighbors." I said, "They didn't come from Pinecrest and dump this horse over here." All right, it was really sort of clever. Anyways, so what else we got going? We have the hurricanes. Oh, let's talk about when we litter the streets with our stuff. When it rains, it goes down to the drain.
It can get into the storm. It can clog the storm drains. It can find its way into the waterways, canals, or the even the ocean eventually. So yeah, bad idea. Bad idea.
And it doesn't take much for those grades to get covered.
Yeah, and then people are screaming, we got flooding in our street. Well, that stuff you threw out a week ago.
Yep.
Is causing the storm drain to clog, and therefore the streets are going to get flooded.
Okay. So again, we have the holiday season coming up. Don't put your the aluminum.
Not the pan, but the cans. Yes, like the cranberry sauce can.
Yeah.
That can go in recycling.
And for those that are interested, composting is a wonderful thing. If somebody wanted to take a class, they could do that through the county. And then online you can figure out how to do it. If you want an electric one, we bought an electric one that was out of what we could do for humanity. All right. And I looked in it the other day, and it was all recent stuff. And in the morning, it looked like mulch. Right. Does not smell at all. All right. It just dehydrates it. No noise. We have it set to go off in the middle of the night. It's a bare hum. You can't hear it. And they come in different sizes. And I know that I found out that the mayor also does composting at her house, and I think that's a good thing for us, and good thing for the kids to be able to see that. Okay, so what else we got going on, Frank?
Well, I think I already mentioned before, this Saturday we have the home chemical collection event for those who Doral is too far to drive, or the Southdade landfill center is too far to drive. If you live in the Kendall area, Westchester area, we have the home chemical collection event taking place Saturday morning at the Kendall Sunset Trash and Recycling Center, which is approximately Southwest 107th Avenue between Kendall. It's just north of Indian Hammock Park, between Kendall Drive and Sunset.
On the west side of the street over there?
On the west side of the street,
and then we have FIU on the back part, 117th Avenue?
Well, we have that, but they're not going to have the home chemical there.
Okay,
the home chemical event's only going to be at the Sunset Kendall.
Okay. Frank Calderon, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Okay, let's look over that camera. Folks, remember the Disney rule.